Rachael Blackmore, the Cheltenham Festival is within touching distance. Can you believe that this is going to be your 8th time going to the festival with rides?
I know, when you think of it like that, yeah, it makes me feel a lot older maybe. Yeah, I suppose you don't reflect too much in this sport, so it's never something I've really thought about. You're always kind of looking ahead to the next Cheltenham Festival.
I had a little look last night, and 2017 was the first year you went to Cheltenham with rides. How do you reflect on that? And because you used to go to Cheltenham as a fan.
Yeah, it's such a different Cheltenham experience, you know, going as a spectator, as a fan, looking in at the parade ring and, you know, longing to be in there, I suppose, but never really thinking that that was going to happen. So 2017, I was heading over there, got to bring my racing bag, got to go into the weigh room, be part of it. You know, I think I had 2 rides that week, and I was just so happy to be part of it. You know, neither of them had chances, but you don't care. You know, I rode in the Supreme Novices, and to be down at the start,
to hear the roar, what was that like?
Yeah, incredible. Like, yeah, it really was incredible. You're just so grateful to be part of it, and you know, then you get a bit of a taste for it, and then you think, oh, it's great being part of it, but God, you'd love to get back into the winners' circle. You know,
the first 4 finishers.
First 4, yeah. And I was lucky that week. I got back into the first 4, and then you're in number 4, and you're kind of looking over at the number 1 spot, thinking it'd be very cool to get up there. So, yeah, I suppose as my career has gone, I've been so lucky that those things have become a lot more achievable because of the horses I've got to ride, you know.
Yeah. 2019, 2 years later, you go there with a different kind of pressure, a pressure of expectation. You're finally on the horses you looked in dreaming to get on, and now you have to perform.
Yeah, that was incredible. You know, Henry and his owners put a lot of faith in me that year. You know, I'd never ridden a Cheltenham Festival winner, and I was going over there riding, you know, a lot of his very best horses, you know.
What was that for you? The build-up, 2 weeks out, you're hoping you're going to get on them, then it's confirmed you get on them. What are you thinking? How do you deal with that pressure?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think everyone has different ways of dealing with pressure. I try not to get too consumed by it, but at the same time, you're thinking, you know, Henry and his owners are putting all this faith in me to ride their horses in Cheltenham. I've never ridden a Cheltenham Festival winner, so that was, you know, a plus tard winning on the Tuesday. Do you know what I mean? So it was just an unbelievable. It was an unbelievable relief as much as anything, I suppose, to be able to repay their faith in me and ride a winner in Cheltenham.
And then the winners just came like a monsoon. It just started to trickle. One horse came along, then the good horses come along, and you go from having the elation of riding a Cheltenham winner to nearly having relief at getting a Cheltenham winner.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's a funny feeling sometimes, you know. Like, it's you're in this position where you're getting on these incredibly good horses, and you know, you're just hoping you can live up to your side of the bargain and do your job essentially on them. And you know, a plus tard that year, I just had to steer him around and stay on his back. And
you weren't worried about his handicap mark that year, were you?
No, I definitely wasn't. Yeah. And I think what he showed in the rest of his career shows how lucky I am.
He was.
Lucky I am. I didn't get beaten on that day. But yeah, it's just where you want to be. You know what I mean? That's where you want to be, and I am so grateful and lucky to be involved with Henry's Yard, where I get the opportunity to get on these horses of that calibre. Essentially, it's the most important races of the year for me, but the objective is still the same as you're going to try and achieve every day you go racing. You know, you're still trying to get from A to B and be the first one to do it.
So Cheltenham week, it's a long week. You fly in Sunday or Monday?
Usually fly over Sunday night, so we're there on the Monday to ride out, and Monday's actually a really enjoyable day because, you know, expectations, the hopes are all still alive on the Monday.
Everybody's dreaming.
Yeah, like you're there, the horses have arrived, we ride them out on the Monday, and then you kind of have the evening, you know, you walk the tracks. You drop your racing bag into the weigh room and you just kind of get settled for the week ahead. And you know, in your head, you're going to ride loads of winners that week.
You're going to have the best week of your life.
And Tuesday rocks around, and things are different. But it's a nice day. I enjoy the Monday. I enjoy that day.
And what's the race day routine? Right, Tuesday comes around.
So very lucky, have a house right beside the racetrack. So I walk in the morning, we ride out the horses again. So, you know, the horses have to be exercised every morning. So we ride them out in the middle of Cheltenham. Come back up then, might walk the track again before I go home to get changed. Go in then to the weigh room and have your day's racing and go home that night. And yeah, we usually get a takeaway on the Tuesday night. We don't go out for dinner or anything. You know, we eat in the weigh room or we get takeaway. So that's kind of our the routine. And yeah, it's hopefully a good happy meal that you're having, a good celebrating meal. And yeah.
For the last 3 Tuesdays at Cheltenham, you've had a Honeysuckle celebratory dinner.
4 even. 4.
4?
Yeah.
Dared I forget?
What
was the celebration after Honeysuckle last year? It's keeping it low key, isn't it?
Yeah, it's keeping it low key. You know, you don't want to be kind of venturing out, obviously, but yeah, you know, heading to Cheltenham this year, like it's when I now look back, obviously I can look back and enjoy Honeysuckle because she's finished now, and so when you look back and think, how lucky was I to have her every Tuesday, you know, to get to ride a winner at the Cheltenham Festival every Tuesday for the last 4 years. Like, it's something that I would love
Ruby
to
had big
continue.
bucks.
But yeah, it's just, she was just so incredibly dependable to have in Cheltenham. And
you might have her progeny in a couple of years, but it's like the last person in the relay team. You put your strongest person last, and she was your first. She kind of settled the nerves. But there was nerves, because with Honeysuckle, there was expectation.
Yeah, definitely. I suppose there was, but that's weirdly kind of what you want. Like, you want to be going to Cheltenham feeling those nerves and having that pressure, I suppose, because that means that you've got a really good chance over there. And having her was just, it's what you wanted to feel going to Cheltenham. You know, going into a champion hurdle or a mare's hurdle, and you know, being on the favourite, you know, they're the horses you want to be riding over there.
Yeah, easier said than done though. She was dependable. We have, obviously you have horses this year, but you're going in knowing now, I suppose, the lay of the land. You have so much experience there. Do you go in every year a little bit more confident in yourself, or have you always just gone in thinking, I can do this?
I don't know. I don't think I think that. I don't think I still feel like I haven't a lot of, I still feel like I could have more experience there. You know, I feel like as a jockey, every time you ride around Cheltenham, like Cheltenham is quite a unique track. It's, you know, there's the old course and the new course. They both ride very differently. So, you know, even from when you were riding, like every time you ride, you learn something new about a track, about other horses around you, about other jockeys. So you never really feel like, I don't feel experienced over there, you know, but it's just a great place to be heading.
I think that's what might set a couple of you apart though, is because you're always learning and the hunger to always find something different. When you were the kid looking in at the APs and the Rubies and the Barrys, wanting to be on the back of a horse, they inspired you. Are you conscious that now you get the leg up at the Cheltenham Festival Coliseum, as we call it, that there are kids looking over the white railing at you, thinking and dreaming that they could be you?
Yeah, like it's such an honour and a privilege to be that person, but at the same time I try not to think about that in a way, because I'm doing it for myself, selfishly, you know what I mean? I want to ride winners for me and for owners and connections, and like
you have a job,
but mainly for me. Like I want to ride winners in Cheltenham, and if the knock-on effect of that is inspiring other people, like that's incredible, and I feel very lucky that I am that person that can do that.
Would you say you're pretty much living that dream?
Incredibly, like I've said this before, but like I'm living a dream that I never even my brain never even dreamt I could be living. It's like when I was in Cheltenham as a spectator, I dreamt of riding in Cheltenham someday. You know what I mean? That was an achievable dream in my head. Like I'd love to get a ride here and ride here. And even at that, it was going to be very difficult to do. Like it's an extremely difficult place to get rides. There's so many good riders in the Irish Way Room that mightn't ride in Cheltenham. You know what I mean? It's a really hard place to get rides. You have to be associated with the right stables who have those horses going over. So it's really hard to get over there. So yeah, like the dream of winning a Gold Cup or a Champion Hurdle, I never even thought that could be a dream.
Be realistic.
It'd be realistic. It wasn't a realistic dream. And then, you know, as my career progressed and as I got associated with Henry and some of his horses, you know, things, you allow yourself maybe to think it could happen.
So heading into the 2024 Cheltenham Festival, 8 years on from the maiden voyage, the Rachael Blackmore with her boots and her saddle in hand, going in for her first rides, what would the Rachael Blackmore today tell that girl?
I actually don't think I'd tell her anything because I don't think she'd believe me.
She wouldn't, yeah, you wouldn't imagine those things could happen.
Yeah, I'd tell her nothing.
Tell her nothing. Well, the next chapter is about to be written, and for all of us here, we're wishing you the best of luck. We can't wait to see what's going to happen.
Thank you, Jane.